y'all call me crazy, but I told y'all that the government is poisoning us with these chemtrails that make us gay. And by gay, I of course meant happy.
Bazinga!
That's right, today I'm going to be discussing the brand new Apple TV show Pluribus. Now, honestly, I had no idea what to expect from the show going in. The marketing has been very vague and mysterious and, dare I say, not the best. Like, legit, the only trailer I've seen for the show was that one of the main character howling into the night. Which, hey, if you want someone to go howl into the night, just give me a sip of Smirnoff Ice and you let the wolf off the chain. And the only description I saw for the show was very vague too. You know, it was the most miserable person on earth has to save the world from happiness. Like, what the hell does that even mean? It seems like they were heavily relying on a lot of name recognition to do the heavy lifting for the marketing here, because this show is from Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Now, I must admit, I have committed a deadly sin according to the internet. I have not seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Yeah, boo me all you want, but I'm very anti-drugs, okay? I'm gonna take the high road, okay? You will never find me doing drugs, okay? I think promoting drugs, even in a scripted show, is very harmful, especially to the youth. It promotes drug habits that, you know, can lead to crime and death, and I don't even want to think about it. Now, I wasn't sure when I was going to get around to this, but then I saw people online saying that the pilot was the best hour of television ever, which is a bit of an overreaction because we all know that the best hour of television is the iCarly Victorious crossover, okay? There's no debate, right? That's the best hour of television. However, I must admit that the Pluribus pilot does have an argument for being the second best hour of television. Now, I'm going to be getting into spoilers here, so if that's something you're worried about, you've been warned. But in all seriousness, I do think this show is off to a really interesting start. This is straight up a sci-fi show, so if you're looking for something grounded like Breaking Bad, you might be a little disappointed. But even if you're not getting what you wanted, you have to admit that what we got was really compelling. I like how this show gives us a lot of information, but leaves just enough mystery to really hook us in and want more. We begin with astronomers detecting a signal that they believe is a message from an alien civilization. Then they discover it's actually a chemical formula. And of course, since scientists are scientifically the dumbest people in movies and TV, they try to recreate the formula. And it's this weird parasitic virus that connects everyone to a hive mind and makes them all happy. They even call it a parasitic glue. Now, I'm a Halo fan, so I'm kind of treating it like the Flood, except they're good, maybe? I don't know. We'll get into that later. And of course, we have our main character, Carol, played by Rhea Seehorn. And right off the bat, we see how miserable she is. Almost like she's the most miserable woman on earth. She's a successful author who has fans all over the world, but she thinks her work is mindless crap. She's constantly lying to herself and her fans about her true feelings, especially when it comes to her sexuality. And overall, she just really doesn't feel fulfilled. Feel fulfilled. But I really do like how this first episode plays out. You know, it really is a nightmare come to life. I like how it kind of goes from a straight alien invasion horror when, you know, everyone is seizing out, getting inducted into the hive mind, to some kind of uncanny valley Twilight Zone episode where everyone's acting super nice and happy as if nothing happened. And for Carol, it's kind of funny that this is kind of like two nightmares in one. We have the obvious nightmare of the world ending and her losing her partner, but then there's the nightmare of everyone wanting to be around Carol and wanting to please her. We just saw how she hated all her fans who adored her, and now she's surrounded by billions of people who will do anything she wants. We learned that there's 13 other people in the world who didn't get infected, and when we meet the ones who speak English, we kind of see that they're kind of chill with it. You know, it makes sense because these people still have family members with them, and all of a sudden they're super friendly and helpful with everything. Like, why would they want to change that? I like how the show is presenting these moral questions of, you know, well, it seems this invasion is actually helping humanity for the better, so is it really that bad? As Casanova McBoner puts it, which, by the way, it's an awesome nickname and I wish I had that nickname. But he even says that no one's getting killed, no one's getting robbed, no one's rotting in prison, so it seems the world's better off like this. As I mentioned earlier, I do appreciate that the show provides us with, you know, substantial information, but, you know, doesn't reveal everything. I could see a bad version of this show existing from like the early 2000s where we don't even find out about the space signal until the end of season 1. But this is the part where I'm just gonna list all the questions I have for the show because, first of all, I'm kind of curious what the end goal is here. Like, do they just affect everybody and then just live a happy life forever? Like, what's the goal? You know, the people affected even say they're not even sure how it works. Also, who sent the signal? You know, I wonder if another planet was fully taken over by this virus and they're like, we gotta spread it to the galaxy, so let's send out a signal hoping somebody will find it. And if that's a case, does like Earth hive mind connect to the other hive mind, or is it like one hive mind, or is it just all separate, or what's the deal here? Oh, and also we find out that, you know, when Carol gets angry at the hive mind, it really affects them. You know, everybody starts seizing out, so that's definitely gonna play into how they undo everything, right? Like that seems to be their only weakness is emotions. But I do wonder what would happen if you physically try to hurt one of these people, you know, like, will they defend themselves? They said they don't intentionally kill, but does that mean they can accidentally kill in self-defense? Like, it's kind of like a gray area there. Like I said, there's a lot of unanswered questions, but I'm sure we're going to get a lot of it answered. Vince Gilligan has said he has a basic idea on how he wants this show to end and could actually see it running for 4 seasons. Which, I don't know about 4 seasons. I don't know how far you can really take this plot, but I am glad to hear that he does know how this show's kind of going to end. This isn't going to be a lost situation where they introduce so many questions and, you know, at the end they're like, I don't know, I guess it was purgatory. But yeah, so far through 2 episodes, I'm loving this show and I can't wait to see what's next. So let me know down in the comments if you've seen Pluribus and what you thought of it and what do you think is going on. And I will see you guys next time.